Hi, my name is Jonathan O'Keefe, and this is my audiovisual work for my article. The title of my article is Music's Potential and Value for Early Childhood Education, examined from a pedagogical perspective. It was nice to write about something that I found was something I was passionate about already, because I've always been heavily involved in music ever since I was a child. So it was nice to be able to write about something I felt I actually was passionate about and something I knew about myself anyway. I speak in the paper and I say a lot about the significant potential for early childhood education, the significant potential of music, that is. And the paper explores the importance of music education from a pedagogical point of view in both pre-primary and primary school settings. So art, including music and not just music, visual art and drama as well, provide a beneficial framework for creative thought. It fosters creativity in children and allows them to think outside the box, and in a way that maybe some children might be very academic, in the sense of that they might be very mathematical, have mathematical brains or logical brains, in that they get on well in class, and they're able to excel well in school, whereas other children mightn't be so quick to be academic in class in school. So it's very good to offer other children means of creativity and in the creative arts. Now, that's not saying that only children who might be academic in other areas can do those areas, and children who are not academic in those areas can do music. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying it is really important for music, and the creative arts in general are really important because it gives children an area where they can be creative, even if they are, whether or not they are creative in other areas such as maths. And in the paper, I talk a lot about music education's capability for helping children prosper in other academic areas. For example, there was a study done by Geo Kagan and Mitchell Moore in 1996, and it emphasizes the need for music education so that children can prosper in mathematics. So they created a study, and in the study there was a group of young children who were engaged in a music program based on Kodai techniques. So they were learning about pitch and dynamics and a lot of the music techniques and elements. And then there was another group of children who were not exposed to that music program. And when they did a test on early childhood mathematics, it was found that the children that engaged in the music program actually scored significantly higher than the other children who did not partake in the music. And then that study was actually delved into further, and was found that children who were exposed to music in their own homes compared to children who were not exposed to music in their own homes, the children who were exposed to the music actually did better in another maths exam as well. So it really just does show the importance of music when it comes to other academic areas, because low road transfer occurs, and it's a scientific term. I go into it a bit more in the article, but that basically what that means is when the brain processes information, and that it also transfers the memory of how it processes that information to different areas, to different domains in the brain. So the same way that music, if someone's studying music, they can also transfer the knowledge that they know, that their brain knows, towards other domain, in another domain. For example, language learning. Language learning is very similar to music learning, because the way the brain processes how to read music is very similar to the way it processes how to read text. And there's certain other elements as well, including intonation and pitch can be similar. The patterns, intonation patterns can be similar to ones heard in just learning a new language, speaking English. And then I think it is really important that this is more attention is paid towards this, because in Ireland, I'm not sure about in Spain, but I'm sure it's the same in Spain. Many Ukrainian children are coming into the schools, and a lot of them do not have English or Spanish, I'm sure. And it's through understanding how the brain works, and for example, how we can expose children to music, that maybe these Ukrainian children who are trying to learn a new language, English or Spanish, that they can become more familiar with the language more quickly, having had more experience with music. And there's a lot of research, as I go into in the text, which backs this up. Another something I found actually quite interesting in the text was how music can just be a source of enjoyment for children. It's simple, it's not too complicated. It allows children to open up in a way that's unique and uncommon to other academic subjects. And the Irish primary curriculum actually goes on to say that a successful music education in early education should be life-enhancing and instrumental in stimulating creative thinking and promoting capability and adaptability. As teachers, it should be our goal to allow children to prosper in the creative process, and while also celebrating diversity among children. Not all children think the same, so we shouldn't act like they do. And that's why the creative arts and music allows children to pick up parts of the curriculum that they might find interesting, and to delve into that in a creative way that they may not get if they're doing other subjects, academic subjects. Furthermore, music is an effective tool in teaching children about culture, and that can be their own culture, or maybe cultural differences, cultures of other people, other children in the class. Ireland has a very strong appreciation of our own traditional Irish music, and in that music it symbolizes Irish history and generations of Irish musicians and their aspirations. And by exposing children to their own native cultural music, be it Irish music or Spanish music, depending on the case, they can learn a lot about their culture. And in the same way, maybe there's another child in the class who, let's say we're in an Irish school, and there's another child in the class who is from Spain. We can use that as an opportunity to teach the other children in the class about Spanish culture, about Spanish music, and it allows us to become tolerant of each other and to communicate better within ourselves, people of different nationalities and cultures. So it is an extremely useful tool for actually very similar as well, which I speak about in the essay, is communication. It allows for social and emotional communication, and that's between just within the child themselves, the individual child, and also with other children as well. And that's something I go on a bit further about in the essay. I think I speak a good bit about other aspects, which I can't go into in this short video, but I hope you enjoy my essay, and thank you so much for having me in your class. Thank you.